My name is Pedro. I'm the Senior Director of Product Design and User Research at Stepstone, which means that I lead a team of roughly 45 people across a few disciplines like product design, user research, design operations, design systems, and content design. The challenge of trying to build one of the best design organizations in the world, it's also quite intense and unique, and an opportunity that makes me come to work every day with the same energy and drive.
I'm James O'Loughlin. I'm Head of Design and Copy at the Stepstone Group. Whether we're hiring for someone or whether we're looking for jobs for ourselves, it matters. And what we're doing here and what we do within design is we manage to make a process which is difficult, a process which is emotional and a bit turbulent potentially, something that is a bit easier, and we can help people and we can really make connection.
So my name's Matt Gottschalk. I lead our design operations team here at the Stepstone Group. I've worked at the company for 2 years, and essentially my role here is to lead a small but mighty team of design operations professionals in setting the right standards and the right environment for our product design team and our user research team to deliver, their best work essentially. So when they come into work, when they grab their coffee, when they switch on their screen, when they have their first conversation in the morning, feeling like they're actually going to be able to make a difference and they've got an environment in place that allows them to do the best work they can possibly do and not be held back by process or tooling or culture or community or whatever it might be.
I am Tina Akimade and I'm a research manager here at Stepstone. I love research. It matters because actually you're making sure that whatever you do is rooted in evidence, in data. We're capturing people's thoughts, people's experiences, and we're bringing that back into an organisation who can do something with that, act on it, and make a difference. And so for me, having some level of matter and impact, making a difference is key.
My name is Matt Van Zel. I am a staff product designer and I'm part of the foundations team. Some of my past experience at work as a designer, you kind of produce stuff that goes into an end product that doesn't really serve the end user in a positive way. It may be something neutral or advertising driven or that just sort of serves a plain business need. And I think working at Stepstone kind of gives you more purpose as a designer in terms of helping people at the end of your product that you're creating.
Within design, we're always working within certain constraints. It might be time constraints, might be technology constraints, might be people constraints at the end of the day. But there's one non-negotiable that I always keep in mind, which is, have we pushed it enough? And as we know, good enough is often not that good. You end up with mediocre or average experiences. And what we're aiming in here is actually trying to build one of those experiences that creates that feeling, this is how it should have always been.
There's an opportunity within everything to make something special. Like whether you're given the simplest brief or the simplest task or something wildly elaborate, it's really kind of a canvas for you to bring something. Anything could become a wow moment, part of a portfolio piece, if you decide to apply yourself to it.
It can be quite easy to kind of fall into that quite reactive mindset where, you're kind of working, with a team and you're essentially delivering work that's kind of been briefed into you or has been set out in terms of the expectations from the company. In order to really make a difference, you need to flip that and change your mindset to be someone that's actually incredibly proactive and driven to force that change. It's not about sitting back and waiting for work to come to you. It's about basically stepping forward and saying, actually, I'm going to go out and figure out what needs to be done and make those recommendations to my teams to put that work in place there.
For me, it's mostly about creating simplicity and trying to reduce complexity as much as possible. I think if you ground yourself from a design perspective with those core principles and that philosophy, you're gonna succeed. And I think that's what we're trying to do and what we're aiming for.
If you want to create something that builds a reputation, if you want to create something that has an impact and grows not just on a functional level, but also on an emotive level and really connects with people, that's all through building the brand through the craft.
There's a reason why people gravitate towards experiences like Spotify or Airbnb or some of those other companies that are known by their design-led approach. And it's fundamentally because of the details. They spend the time polishing those details that sometimes you say, why are we spending so much time on this button? Why does the border radius matters so much? Right? But those are the details that at the end of the day, the user is going to remember.
The last year has seen us transition not just from being a kind of a stable, well-functioning, well-operating design organisation, but actually now stepping back and understanding how do we move ourselves onto the next level? How do we deliver much more impact across the organisation and better experiences to our customers?
We're also at the intersection of technologies like AI coming into play, which enable us to do things that we could never do before, right? Our ability to clearly understand the needs and the wants of someone, right? Because it's not just about your experience. It's also the things that you want to do and the things that you don't want to do.
AI is unlocking the ability to create experiences at scale in a way that's never been seen before. Competition is rising, and we have to swim.
Actually using AI to build new capabilities that we can actually roll out across our organisation that allows our teams, not just our designers, to work smarter and more efficiently. We're going to see much more of that next year, and that's going to be a mega exciting part of the work that we're doing.
When you see like where your work's going, having kind of, I don't know, the distance, the journey of design on like your business strategy, that is success. And so being a part of that, seeing the impact is important. In a year's time, I'd want that to continue. I'd want that to grow.
Proactivity, determination and being driven, they're the qualities that I look for in the people that I bring into the team, the people that I want to work with, because those traits in other people help me have that kind of that drive, that motivation, that determination to do good work in the things that I do as well.
The more you spend time with doing something, the more you get into the details, the more you realize the mountain that you're climbing is way bigger than what you thought, and it just keeps getting bigger, and you think that you get to a stage where you know a lot and you reach a certain level of seniority and experience. You're like, okay, I feel like I know a lot, and then that kind of just unlocks a bigger piece of the mountain. And that for me is an exciting part of the journey, knowing that I'm never going to get to that peak of the mountain, as cliche as it might sound.
A year from now, success will look like, because we've changed completely how the industry looks at job search. Right, we've gone ahead of our direct competitors, and we've launched an experience that no one thought it could be this simple, this good. That's the number one aspect, almost from an external perspective. The other one, success will look like for Stepstone Design internally, where we're continuously doing good work. And I think emphasis here on the word continuously, or even more consistently.
I would love if, we got to a future where people were excited to job search. And I know, who really is excited to look for a job? You'd rather not. But it's that point, you'd rather not go through kind of the endless searching on many sites, not hearing anything back, not knowing. And what we've learned is that creeps into you as a person, And so what we'd like to build is almost this feeling where you know that you are supported, you're empowered.
We want to be front and center. We want to be at the forefront of your mind. And when we're thinking about the marketing and the comms, it's really important for us to make sure that we are building that awareness and really focusing on that connection of having the right roles and the right candidates and doing that matchmaking.
We want to knock down traditional views of what it's meant to be like, what it has been like in the past, and we actually want to speak to that. How can we be a part of your success story? How can we help you get closer to your goals? And I think if you take any kind of traditional platform, it's always like, oh, we're just used to this. So people put up with bad experiences because there's just no change. And I think job search doesn't have to be like that. Looking for a candidate doesn't have to be that, because you have those two spaces. There are people who are always going to be looking for a job, and there are people that want people. So like, why can't we make that happen? Why can't we make it better?
If I think of 10 years ago, or any time really within that, I guess the biggest one that I would look back on and think, just keep doing that, is doing something you believe in and pushing it and pitching it to people.
From the past 10 years and what I'd apply to the next 10 years of my career and myself is be resilient, be adaptable, always be open to growth, always be open to learning new things, and don't assume that you know everything.
The Pedro of 10 years ago was very focused on progressing his career at all costs. Enjoy it, be curious. Don't obsess so much about progressing your career. That will come with time.
My future self in 10 years would probably look back and say you need to say no more often. It's something I need to get better at.
Whatever space I find myself in 10 years from now, what is it I want to say? Like, what's my opinion, and like, why at this moment, how's it going to change the landscape, and deliver it? So I would share that with anyone else as well.